Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water, Fire, Next Time. If you didn't notice, my title says MTG, which is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She just rolled over as soon as Trump Big Daddy got mad at her. Big Orange Daddy got mad at her. But before I get started, I want to make an announcement real quick. You know that Thanksgiving is coming up this Thursday. And anyone, don't have a Thanksgiving dinner, I know it's hard for a lot of people now. When you go by New Shining Light Community Outreach Ministry, it's a New Shining Light Holiness Deliverance Non-Denominational Church. They're having Thanksgiving meal for those who want to come. It's at 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois. There's Bishop John H. Williams is pastor. As you can see on the flyer, it says 9 a.m. regular Thanksgiving service, 10:30 to 12 p.m. Thanksgiving dinner service, or no, 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. Thanksgiving dinner served, and everyone's welcome at New Shining Light. They don't try to screen you and see if they just feed you. As a matter of fact, they feed it, I think, and I'm not sure the date, so I'm not going to say. But you go by New Shining Light on Thanksgiving Day if you need a meal, first go to service though at 9 o'clock if you can. Don't just go for the food, but but still come even if you didn't come to the service. But it would be best if you went by the service too and get fed spiritually and physically. So everyone's welcome. So come on out. Bishop Williams and New Shining Light, they be happy to see you. Also, they're having a revival on December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. On December 3rd, you will have Pastor J.D. Mann. On December the 4th, you will have Pastor Vincent Collins. And on December the 5th, you have Pastor Leander Brown. I don't have my glasses on to see that. Leander Brown. Now I better look at the screen. Yeah, I can see it better now. Yeah, Pastor Leander Brown. Stop on by, They'll be happy to see you. Back to my subject. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's now angry with Trump. They're public enemies now. She He's thrown under the bus because she disagreed with a lot of his policies, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by her. She went along with him. She helped to make Trump. She helped to make him. One thing about these MAGA people, they don't see the light. They just see what's hurting them now. Every person I know who supported Trump, who stopped supporting him, it was because of something that he did to hurt them and theirs. As long as he was hurting other people, they were fine with it. A matter of fact, they voted for him so he could hurt other people. But they didn't know it was going to hit them. So that's why I don't feel sorry for any of them. And I do not want to align myself with any of these ex-MAGA people because as soon as things get back how they want it, they'll go right back to it because it's ingrained in them. But I just can't see with the black people who's in MAGA. Don't you know the things that he's talking? Like you want to see other black people hurt. Like it's not going to hurt you and your family. Like they're going to say, oh, he's a black N-word, so we're not going to harm him, but they are not, uh, he's a black man, he's a MAGA N-word, so we're not going to harm him. But they're not MAGA N-word, so we're going to harm them. No, when they look at you, they're going to see you the same as the black people who are not in MAGA. They're going to see you as the same black people who didn't, same as the ones who didn't vote for Trump. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, all that she did No, you know the argument she got in with Jasmine Crockett, trying to make fun of her. She's the one that Jasmine called the bleach blonde, butch built body. She's the one. Matter of fact, I got a video. Listen to this. Put my headphones on so I can hear this.
But as far as issues that concern all of us, whether we're Democrats or Republicans, people right now are looking at everything through their wallet and their bank account, and they're going, the price of food has not gone down. They're saying rent has not gone down. Houses are still unaffordable. And now health insurance premiums are going to hike, whether you're on the ACA or having private insurance as well. They're literally going to go up for everyone. And I don't really care about the drama up here. I could care less. I really think we got to fix this issue.
You see, that's the part I don't like. What she just said, it's like she's trying to blame everybody. The Republicans and MAGA and Trump are responsible for this. But she's trying to blame everybody. No, the Democrats, no, it's not everybody. It's them. And I'm going to tell you something about that. See, everybody don't tell you the truth about prices. Prices aren't coming down. When prices go up, why would they bring them back down? Tariffs and all. She's not telling the truth. Those tariffs are coming in, the prices are going to go even higher. So she's sitting there lying on this video. She still won't completely blame the people who are at fault. I don't know why none of the politicians, Democrat or Republican, would tell people the truth. Prices are high because we came out of a pandemic. And then salaries increased. More people were working. Tell people the truth. The more prosperity, the higher price is going to be. The more money people make, you're going to have inflation. That's why things cost more. You know, San Francisco is around the Silicon Valley, where you have people making high salaries. Los Angeles and out in California, people making more money out there. You got a lot of millionaires and billionaires out there. Anywhere people have more money, prices are higher. That's why prices are cost. There's more prices are higher in San Francisco than in St. Louis. They're higher in Los Angeles than they are in Memphis because people make more money in those places. I don't know why they just won't tell people the truth. When there's prosperity, there's inflation. The two go hand in hand. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she stayed in a battle with Jasmine Crockett. Got, got, got creamed every time. And with a lot of people. She's been sarcastic. She's asked questions. She wouldn't answer the question. Now now she acting like as though she's seen the light. But if you listen to her comments, she hasn't. What she's angry about is Trump would not endorse her for the Senate. He stripped all the money from her that was supposed to come to her, and that's what she is upset about. She's the same old Marjorie Taylor Greene. All of these MAGA people are. They the only thing that happened is they got hurt. That includes the Latinos too, who voted thought black people was gonna be deported. They said it. We thought they was gonna do it to the black people. They're just angry because they're the ones that got hurt and not us. And we're not gonna get hurt. Don't you see when Babylon's falling? This is another Babylon falling. This has happened before. And the people who they were the most against, the people that they inflicted the most harm on, was the ones who was the least scathed when the Babylons fall. The people on the bottom don't get hurt when Babylon falls. And see, the United States is not the first Babylon that's fallen. History is just repeating itself. That's all. It's repeating itself. We're not victims in this. We're watchers. We're witnesses. We're not the victim this time. We're the witnesses. That's why it's best. I can't tell other people what to do, but I suggest black people stay out of this mess. Stay out of it, because they really tried to harm us. They stopped DEI. Thought it was going to hurt black people, but that was set up for white people, especially white women. They lost most of the jobs. They got most of the jobs with affirmative action. They just put a black face on it. A lot of black women lost government jobs, but not at the rate that the white people did. Black men didn't lose many jobs because we don't depend on the government much. And the government wouldn't give us jobs. They gave it to the black women because they saw them as a double minority, woman and black. So why get a black man when you get a person where you get two strikes for one? So when they say, so what they're doing, white women are the largest single demographic in this nation, but they got them in with the minorities. One of the worst thing they could have done was start calling black people minorities instead of calling us black, because that lumped us in with everyone else. Even the Asians was getting more out of affirmative action than us, and there's more of us than them. So they thought it was going to hurt us, but it didn't. Like Tupac said, we took it and smiled. I know the black woman lost her job. You know, that's not a good thing, but it don't mean we ain't going to come unscathed. Just that we're not suffering as much as you think. And when you got those jobs, you shouldn't have dangled in the black man's face. Somebody even divorced your husband, but that's here or there. That's a whole nother matter. But um, maybe when all this mess is over, they'll get their jobs back. I hope so. But look, we can't trust. It's to the place now. They're saying, we shouldn't rejoice. We should be sorry for those, who are losing out. I'm sorry for the black women who lost their jobs with the government, but I'm not sorry for everyone else. I don't. They say don't rejoice at the fall of your enemy, but I do. I'm sorry. I just haven't reached that level. I want to see my enemy fail. The enemy, when I'm talking about my enemy, I'm talking about the enemy of our people. I want to see them fail, and I want to take my foot and grind them to ashes. Cause you never had no pity on us. I'm just not that type. I'm I don't have compassion on my enemy. When I say my enemy, I'm talking about the enemy of our people. They haven't had compassion on us for 400 years. Actually, over 400 years. Yeah, we're supposed to have compassion on them. I don't. Now, I want to mention something about Jasmine Crockett since I mentioned her. I was listening to someone. They were talking about why come she's out here talking foolishness. Why come she's not talking about health care also? How is she talking foolishness? She's clapping back at people who's clapping at us. What she supposed to do? Sit there and sit there? Her. She's about the only one that's really clapping back. Her and Al Green, people like them. That's in Congress. We got Minister Jamal Bryant. They're clapping back. Him and Al Sharpton. They were with the Target boycott. But yeah, but they said, why come she's not talking on health care? She can't do everything. That's one thing about black folks. When we have a black person out here doing something, we think they're supposed to just take up everything, every issue. But why come they're not talking about this? Why come they're not doing that? Well, you talk about it. Or someone else can do it, but one person cannot do everything. Now, the Congressional Black Caucus, I agree. They need to do more. The person said they should be just voted out and disbanded. No, that's one thing. Another thing we do. If it's something about us that's not 100% perfect, we just want to throw it out. Do you know these folks, other folks, they know a lot of this stuff don't work, but they just don't throw everything out. You try to improve it. You don't get rid of stuff, you try to improve it. But see, that's one mentality we have. If it don't work, no, they're not doing like they're supposed to. Get rid of them. Get rid of the whole thing. I can understand you want to get rid of certain people. Just vote them out. But they're going to get rid of the whole system. That's not a way to do it. One person cannot solve all the problems. It takes a multitude of people working on different problems, not just one person. Being like that's that Messiah syndrome, waiting on one person to come and straighten all this out. That what Malcolm X up about the Messiah syndrome, the Messiah complex, waiting on this one person to come and solve all the problems. But that's not going to happen. But I often say to people, I don't see anything change. But the only way it's going to happen, we just going to have some divine intervention. And we may just be getting that now. Because when I look and I study and look, what's happening to the United States has happened before with other great empires who thought they were invincible. That wasn't just one Babylon that fell. There's been many. And just as the others fell, so it's the United States and everything's lining up. And just as the next that come behind the United States, same thing will happen if you oppress people. Now, if you can get a nation that don't oppress people, they may be able to stand. But every time you have a great nation, they oppress people. They have a certain demographic that they oppress. And they usually look like you and me. They say, well, why are you rejoicing at the fall of America? Yeah, I rejoice at the fall of another Babylon. Because the way they've treated us 400 years and still calling us the same name they was calling us 400 years ago. Haven't grown any. We don't even have any names for them. We used to have some back in the mid 20th century. We called them honkies and crackers and different names like that. But that was in response to names that they were calling us. We cut that out. We grew up. They didn't. We evolved. They didn't. They have some type of racial name for everybody. Even the Asians, Hispanics, in their language have a racial name, derogatory racial name for black people. Everyone does. But we don't have a derogatory name for none of them. And any that you may say is something, we didn't make it up. We don't have time to play little games like that. That's them. They play that stuff. And we need to stop tearing down our people that we see fighting for us. Even though you may disagree with some things they say or do, still they're fighting for us. Yeah, they're fighting for us. So let's not tear them down. Yeah, they may not be talking about a certain issue you want them to talk about, but you talk about it. They can't do everything. I think Jasmine Clark is doing a good job. Very good job. I had a chance to meet her. Probably seen the picture I posted of her and I. And she does a very good job. And she's pretty too. Yeah, yeah. But I just had to throw that in. But look, we need to stop running down our leaders we see doing something for us because they're not perfect and doing everything we think that they should do. And we have to realize about when it comes to like the Congress and the Senate, you just have that person has just one voice there. The Congressional Black Caucus needs to be a bit more vocal and involved and let black people know what's going on. I heard that they sponsor a reparations bill, but they didn't let anyone know about it. That's one of the Democrats' problems. They're not vocal enough. They don't let you know what's going on. They could do a lot of things, but no one knew about it. They said that Joe Biden passed more positive legislation for this nation than any other president. But they didn't voice it. People don't know about it. They didn't know about it. He passed even more legislation than Barack Obama for us. But people didn't know about it. Obama, he had his hands so busy with the economy at the time because it was in ruins. He was headed for another depression. Took him 4 years to straighten that out. Then he got it going good. Black people are near record unemployment that Trump talked about. That happened first under Obama. See, when the president first come in, they're riding off the previous president economy, especially if people been there for 8 years. Because they spent the first 4 years trying to fix. Because if you notice, every time a Democrat come in, they have to fix the economy that the Republicans messed up. For the last 50 years, it's been going that way. When uh um when Trump came in, he was riding off of Obama's economy. That's why things looked well. You just don't come in and your policies take effect the next week. It takes time. This system is like a cruise ship. You can't turn it on a dime. You turn it, and it goes drags on for miles before it actually starts turning. And that's where this economy is. It takes a while before that president's policies come into effect. And then Biden, he was riding off of Trump's economy. And then Trump came in, Biden. They say after COVID, that what the problem was with Biden was COVID. But then America's economy under Biden was recovered better than any other economy in the world. They said it was the envy of the world. Trump came in and did what? Ruined it again. Now when another Democratic president come in, that president's gonna have to fix it. But back to Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like her. They are just they see that Trump is a sinking ship, and many people are distancing themselves from him. So they don't play that don't buy that pity party get into a pity party with them. They're not she haven't said Trump policies was bad or anything because she helped to formulate them. She helped defend his policies. Well, I can't say she formulated them, but she voted on them. She voted on that big bill, that big ugly bill, and somebody later, oh, I didn't know all that was in it. Well, why you vote for it if you didn't know what was in it? I would tell them, look, you have to give me time to read this before I vote on it. So if you voted for it, you own it. See, these people coming now, you take even a lot of these immigrants and different people coming to black people, apologize and say, we need your help. Don't fall for that. They're only sorry because they're hurting, and we're not hurting as much. So they thought stopping all those programs was going to hurt us, but it haven't. The it was the Cubans, Haitians, and Africans said they voted for Trump because they thought we were the thugs and the criminals that they were going to deport. Not knowing we weren't immigrants, we're not immigrants. And they're going to see what it is. They say that stuff. They say deporting the thugs and all. But do you know how the white people in this nation came from criminals and thugs? They kicked them out of Europe. They just didn't. They emptied the prisons and all the unwanted and sent them over here. From get out. So if there's thugs and criminals, it's your ancestors. We're more when it comes to not this land but the United States. We're more American than anyone. I'll tell you why. Well, I can't say American because the Mexicans and all them American, but citizens of this nation. We do not identify with another nationality. All we know is Africa. That's a continent. Other folks can say, I'm Chinese American. That's a nation. Others can say, I'm British American. I'm French American. What can we say? We were robbed by culture, our nationality, and our ethnicity. All we can say is we're Black American. So we're more citizens of this nation than anyone. We couldn't be immigrants. We was here before this was a nation. You can only immigrate to a country. This wasn't a country when we got here. It was a settlement. And we came and helped build this settlement. Our people were the reason they didn't get people from Africa by accident. They were good at agriculture. They came over here and showed them how to plant rice and different other well, I didn't say it came here, they was forced here. But when you're here, you're gonna do what you know. I guess they figured they showed the people how to do things that they would let them go. But they got worse. Just took what they learned. They showed them how to smelt certain irons to make buildings. That's why the black people did all the building. But they were living in cabins and log houses and wooden houses before then, before they brought the slaves over. But back to my subject. Um, we are they say always say that they're after the thugs and the criminals. But see, black people know that also well. Because how many times they came into black areas and say, we come to combat crime. But they bother everyone except the criminals. See, anytime there's a crackdown on crime, the hard working, decent black folks suffer. Look at the black people that the police shoot. How many thugs and gangsters do they shoot? How many thugs and gangsters has been unalived by the police? Even though they could be out there in the corner with guns and everything else. Nothing happens to them. And law enforcement know who they are. They come to terrorize. That's what they come for. In East St. Louis, Illinois, they brought in the state police. This was quite a while back. They had a gang problem. Those policemen came in and bothered everyone except for the drug dealers and the thugs, stopping people because of a tag on their car. And the people were tired of them. See, that's why you see sometimes even hardworking, decent, honest black people don't like the police because they get harassed by them a lot. If you would go after the gangsters and thugs you say you're after, people wouldn't mind you. Up in New York, when they had stop and frisk, the policy wasn't a bad policy. It's usually the way that they implement it. Many of it is not a bad policy. It's the way that they implement it. They supposed to be stopping and frisking gang members. They stopping and frisking middle-aged men on their way home from work. What makes you think he's a gangbanger? Oh well, the men in their group usually do be gangsters at that age. Have you seen those other folks who are gangsters with those long gray beards riding motorcycles? You don't find black men in a gang at that age. Look at the ones that on January 6th, you saw them old people. You wouldn't see black people that age doing that. But back to what I was saying, if you notice, most of the time when a black person get unalived by the police, it's usually in a routine traffic stop, a minor routine traffic stop that the policeman is controlling. See, when it comes to these gang bangers and all that, they don't control the situation. But if you notice the situation that they control, they mean to do that stuff anyway. They said whether he went from 0 to 100, no, he came out at 100. They analyze people because the person asks them why did they stop them. They rather do all of that, pull the person out the car, and just tell them why they stopped them, which is something they normally do anyway. I read them to stop me. First thing they do is say, "Well, I stopped you because of such and such." But you rather tase a person, shoot them, rather than just tell them why you stopped them. I see videos when you stop them other folks, you tell them why you stopped them. My point is to make this point. What these people are going through now, we've always been through it. It's nothing new for us. Stopping you because of the color of your skin. Been there, done that. Taking you to jail without due process. Been there, done that. That they're going, well, you look suspicious because you fit a certain profile. We've been there, done that. There's nothing that's going on with these people that we haven't been through. I remember when I was living in Los Angeles. This is back years ago, and the Mexicans they kept up trouble with the black people out there. Still do. So just the Mexican cops out there now to harass black people out there. So 56% of Los Angeles police force is Hispanic, and the black people used to tell them years ago out in LA, look, one day y'all gonna be the new N words. Just wait and see. Now what's happening? How does it feel? Don't feel good, do it. You can't walk down the street in peace. Been there, done that. There's nothing that's happened to anyone in this nation that we haven't been through. It's just coming all at once at you. But it's been 400 years for us. And then you got to say, well, you're the next. No, we're not next. You're the next. The next is happening now with you. What it always has been. Now some of it's coming up off of us and going to you. Now we're supposed to cry. You didn't cry for us. When we were suffering, we didn't beg to ask big somebody come help us. Now I gotta say, during Black Lives Matter, white people just about ran. They go, black people stop protesting after Ferguson. We appreciate their help, but we didn't beg anyone to come help like you're doing. Oh, black people help! Come on, it's gonna take you to save, but we done saving folks. The Asians, hey, did you see how they treat people in the businesses and all? There's a Asian bill that didn't allow Asians to come. I forget the name of it. I think of everything, but they didn't allow Asians to come here. You know how Asians was allowed to come here because of the Civil Rights Bill that black people got instituted. We're the reason Asians can come here, but yet they have the nerve to talk about us and hate us. Asians are some very racist people towards black people. And when you and they to the place now, I don't even say nothing about them beating up these black women coming in the stores because y'all keep going there. And some of the ones they beat up go back to the store and buy again. When I remember some Asians, I know I'm a little off subject, but just me talking. I don't have any guests here where we can talk over the matter, so I may jump off into some other things. But there was an Asian. I told you this story before, but I want to say it again. There was an Asian man that uh, punched a black woman. The black men boycotted the store. The Asians put up a 50% sale, everything half price. The black women flocked to that store, saved some money. The money they saved was more important than their respect. So that's why a lot of men just left alone. But see, I think the men did it the wrong way though. If a black store owner punched a black woman in his store, what do you think her husband, boo, or male family members in the family, what do you think they would have done? They'd have went up there and beat that man within an inch of his life and tore his store up. He'd have to go out of business. That's what you should have done to those Asians. We're harsh with each other, but we get so strategic when it comes to other people. Why are we like that? Oh, we're strategic with others, but we're harsh on each other. I'm going to take a quick break. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, but yeah, we have to be just as strategic with each other as we are with everyone else. We don't play with each other, but we play with everyone else. That's why I say I'm not forgiving for these folks. Like Margie Taylor Greene, let her go on about her business. She got scared from her life is in danger and all of that with Trump. See, I don't know why people play like that. Because you won't put my life in danger, theirs gonna be even more in danger. I don't care who they are. Because when you come at me, I don't go on the defense, I go on the offense. Whatever somebody try to do to me, I try to get them first. I know you say, see, a lot of people tell me, say, well, why? You know, they, I tell you what some people have came to me with. They want me to talk about everything in a religious point of view. This is not a religious show. I'm not talking about my religious faith here. I'm talking about issues. I wouldn't go to church and talk about this. See, if you're a Christian, Muslim, wherever you are, you live in this world just like everything else, and these issues are going to affect you. The Christian SNAP benefit got cut too, didn't it? So how you going to say this stuff don't affect you? Christian women who work for the government lost jobs also, not just the sinners. But I say religious people because I know everyone's not Christian, but we have to put things in perspective because I don't get on here and just talk about everything from the biblical or religious point of view. That's not what this show is for. So quit texting me talking about everything, what the Bible says in the Bible. I know what the Bible says, and I also know what the Constitution says and what the law says. The stuff in this world affects us just as it affects everyone else. We can find some refuge. I believe in praying, and we can find some refuge in that, and things can work in our behalf. But we're not totally exempt to what happened here. We'll be can see us through it. But don't expect me to get on here and preach because this is not a religious show. So quit texting me with that stuff. And if I choose to mention something about religion, that's my choice. But don't be calling me, telling me what I should talk about. I talk about what I want to talk about. I don't call anyone else's show. If I could call in, I'm gonna say I haven't called in soon. But around the first of the year, I'm working on that. But and remote guests. But you know, I don't tell anyone else what to do on this show. The one thing about, like I was saying earlier about what they were saying about Jasmine Clark, when a black person is doing something, we expect them to just do everything, just cover everything. Why come you didn't talk about that? I don't have to if I don't want to. You talk about it. Can't talk about everything. I can't think of everything. But you talk about these people. You don't talk about those people. Well, I don't have to. I can't cover the whole history of the world on one show. There's maybe somebody else who has a show who's talking about that. Listen to him. What you want to hear. The thing for you to do if you want to watch me, you know the type of stuff I talk about. Watch me. If you don't, then just don't. I would like for you to. But I'm not gonna say and do everything for everybody. We expect a person to just do everything for everybody. Like I said with Jasmine, because black folks we do that. If we don't talk about something you want to hear, we're not talking about nothing. We're not talking about something. It's just not what you want to hear. See, but back to what I was saying with Marjorie Taylor Greene, though. And when I say Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm talking about the whole MAGA movement because she's operating just like them. They come in, they're all for Trump. They're happy as long as he's making other people suffer. But then next thing you know, oh, he's hurting me now. He's hurting us now. Now all of a sudden, we was wrong, I was wrong. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is not even admitting that she was wrong. She's still not completely dumping Trump. She's only upset because he didn't back her for Senate. Trump and his boys, they're trying to make this a white male issue. They're even dumping on the white females now. And you know that's an evil group. But then again, they've always done that to white women. White women, white men has always held white women back. Why do you think they had to get a right to vote bill, right to vote bill? That was for white women. Black women was working. Black people was working. But you not said because since I'm on the women thing, that's why I said black women. Black women was already working. Most less domestic, but they was working. White men used to say, I'm not gonna be embarrassed by my wife out working back in the 40s, 50s. But you know what really started white women be able to work and when they start looking for their rights to work and all of that and to vote, well, they tried to get the right to vote back in the 20s when they used black women. But look, after World War II, see a lot of the men was out at war. A lot of the women had to go work in the factories and do a lot of jobs that the men normally did after they got used to working. They wanted to keep working because you notice you didn't put any black women in those factories to make a decent wage. And I guarantee you, they would have worked harder. But they were used to hard work. But they had to fight for the right to vote. They didn't have to do that because of black men. They've always oppressed their own women, not just black people, but the women because that was their husband or father, whoever. They benefit some from their income, from the oppression they were putting on others, not realizing that they were being oppressed also. They include you in affirmative action to still keep the money coming home. They made DEI for white women so that she can get in the corporate structure and still didn't put it in there like they should. Because statistics have shown that women like to say it's just them, but they always trying to make themselves more than they are. But look, yeah, I said that. But look though, statistics have shown that companies ran by black people and women usually are more profitable than those ran by white males. You know, when they're CEOs, the CEOs who are a black person or a woman, the company is usually more profitable. And I say woman because even white women, the black woman going there with black people. So I don't split black people up like that. Black man and black woman. I say black people. If you can get it out of that, you just won't get it. If it's something that's a black woman issue only, I say black women. But when it's something that affects black people, I say black people. I don't get off into that gender separation thing unless it's absolutely necessary because it's affecting a certain group only. But see, um, so if they mistreat their own women, what do you think they'll do to everyone else? See, I've worked with white women. They come to work with black eyes, jaw blue and black and swollen. But the black woman wasn't coming to work like that. So, you know, they've always been oppressive towards women. You know, you see them on TV, they make it seem like, you know, he's such a loving and caring fella. Why do you think white women, and I mean a lot of them, coming after black men? So many was coming until, you know, white supremacists, they started this thing, said, we're going to make black the new gay, the really new space of homosexuality. They did that to make the black man look bad from the white women so they wouldn't want him. But they started wanting him even more. But what did happen was the black woman picked up and ran away with it. That's why you see black men and women always accusing the black man of being a homosexual. But when the truth is, statistics has shown that there's many more black female homosexuals than male. So you can look it up and see. How you gonna say, how can you believe it? You believe there's statistics against the black man. So you know we need to cut that foolishness out, calling each other all kind of names. But we're not gonna cut out unless you cut it out. And then you say that's childish, but we'll just be childish because see, people want to do what they want to do to you. But then when you do it back to them, they got, oh, you're this, you're that. You're going tit for tat. So are you? And you're going to be petty, we can be petty too. You stop being petty, we'll stop. Cause see, I'm not the bigger person. I never been. Cause the bigger person means people can crap all over you, and you just keep taking it with a smile and keep treating them nice. And you crap on me, I'm gonna crap on you. That's just the way it is. You cannot let people keep harming you, and you keep being nice to them. Harm them, let them see how it feel. That's why I remember I told you I don't protest because I don't believe in peaceful protest. I live stream a lot of them. You'll never see me out there with a sign begging anybody for anything. Because if you hurt me in mine, I'm gonna hurt you in yours. You do all the violence, all the hurting you want. Then when people come to retaliate, they got to be peaceful. You wasn't peaceful. And we're gonna set the table and negotiate. And my black, both of yours gonna have to be black. I'm missing a tooth, all yours gonna have to be knocked off. I'm not gonna sit. I'm all messed up, and nothing's wrong with you. How's that gonna be a fair negotiation? You gonna always have the upper hand. You gotta see that I can inflict some harm on you too. So you better straighten up and let's talk right. Cause if you at the table looking weak, why would they negotiate and do something fair with somebody they feel is weak? You gotta kick them back in their butts and let them see how it feels. So all that stuff, I need to say, aren't you a Christian, man? What they got to do with me taking a bunch of crap off people? Your religion don't mean you supposed to be a punk. No, you fight back. Somebody slap you, you punch them. You always retaliate stronger than what was brought to you. You always retaliate stronger. And things are getting bad out here. Some of these supremacists, they're threatening the church. But that's why I think we need to have some armed brothers up in these churches. Arm some of those deacons. Get, if necessary, get them a CCW. You can't let people run up in your church and do whatever they want to do. That's what happened in when the guy with Dallin Roof went up there and went there and unalived those 9 people in the church. You know what he said? I almost left and didn't do it because they were so nice and kind to me. But I had to complete my mission to start a race war. You think a black man can walk up in a white church during a Bible study, 9 people there, and they're going to receive him warmly? They're going to look upon him with suspicion, and he may not get in the door. That man shouldn't have gotten in the door. Well, hey, what you want? But we so happy to have one of them around. And don't get me wrong, we want them, those who are going to come right. But see, I've had people say, oh, you don't like white people. Be honest with you, the majority of my friends are white. And they know me and how I am. And most of them are sort of like me. They know what's going on. See, one thing about black people, I know you say it's white people's system, but we've had more white allies than we have anyone. Even Martin Luther King mentioned that. He says that we have a lot of white people who want to see us free as much as we want to be free. Most of our Black Lives Matter. Most of our allies was white. I told you how I would live stream some of my turnaround to the audience, and I couldn't find a black person. You ride down Kings Highway Boulevard or Grand in St. Louis. You leave from the black area to the white area. In the black area, you see some Black Lives Matter signs scattered here and there. When you got to the white area, you saw one in every yard. So you know what white people I'm talking about. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I really talk more about the system. But but let things fall where they may. Can say I don't sit here and say, well, there's when I'm talking about an issue, but there's some good white people. Let them do that. But see, when people talk against black people, when they talk against us, they don't say there's some good black people. You don't never hear them say that. They just make the statement. But I said that because the only reason I brought this up today is because the Latinos and Asians, they've never done nothing to help us. They show more hatred on the personal level than white people have. Because white people treat you nice on a personal level, but as a people, they can be diabolical. Now, we can be diabolical as individuals because we're completely opposite of them. But we are the most kindest, compassionate people, been the moral conscience of this nation as a people. Only problem is all that compassion we show as a people don't be towards our own, it's towards others. We don't treat each other right on any level. We treat the other people right as a group, but we don't our own. We have that type of white supremacist ideology that our people don't deserve it. And we all got it in us. I got some. Sometimes I have to catch myself on certain things, and I know better. Yeah, but we are. But when it comes to these others, I don't have any pity. The Haitians had to come over here, poorest nation in this hemisphere, which it wasn't their fault. The United States and French started that happening. But every immigrant came here was arrogant with us, with black people. The Africans, everyone was arrogant with us. As a group, I'm not talking about each individual. I I, I know some Africans that I was pretty good friends with, but the majority of them are not. No, I take that back. When I talk in the general consensus. I'm not going to try to break down to certain people, some this, some that. I know I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to start. I talk the general consensus. Because one person, you always generalize me. That's right. When you're dealing with a large group of people, you don't know each individual. You have to go by the general consensus. If every time you was walking down the street and people with red hair threw something at you, the majority of them, the general consensus is that be careful because people with red hair gonna throw something at you. There may be plenty who don't, but you got by the reaction, by the condition of the majority. And you can't go through every single person. And so I mean, when I was in Los Angeles, there was this black woman from Africa, and she said Americans are very arrogant. And this got too much. She generalized, and I said, well, 300 million people, you can't help but generalize. But one thing she needs to do is break that down. Because when black people see Africans come over here, they're very friendly to Africans. They're usually arrogant with us in our own country. See, when it comes to the bad things about the United States, people don't exclude black people, even though we don't do it. But when it comes to the good things, we get excluded. But you keep us lumped in there with the bad stuff, even though we don't do it. I was back to where I was Marjorie Taylor Greene and MAGA. And sometimes I get off subject, but no, it's just me I have to talk about when it comes to my mind. But you know, when it comes to people jumping ship, you have to look at why they jump ship. You have a lot of people saying, "Oh well, she saw the light. She haven't seen anything. She don't reason she sees the light because it's getting dim over there in MAGA world." And people should have known that stuff Trump doing is not gonna last. They should have known that, and there's gonna be some trials, and some people are going to prison. But it's too late for this nation because this nation now is not going to be the superpower that it used to be. It's not going to be, and it's losing a lot of its economic power. Black people are good at fixing things. If you notice, the cities that have black mayors, when a black mayor take over the crime rate and everything goes down, life improves. But they don't tell you about that. They talk about the crime rate. It's not really that high. You know what the difference is? I told you before. Black people live in congested areas. We're congested. They're spread out. When crime happens in a congested area, it's more noticeable. I told you this scenario before. Here in Illinois, you can drive from here to Chicago and don't see another black person until you get to Chicago. I know there's some in Springfield, Bloomington, that area, but not that many. When a crime happened in out the whole state, they got the whole state. Let's say there's 20 murders, 20 unalivings over the weekend, all over the state. 5 in Chicago. Which ones are you going to hear about? The one in Chicago is more congested. You got all the people. Matter of fact, let's say you got 4 million people living in Chicago, and that's not including the suburbs and all. And you got people in the rest of the state. Well, you got so many people in a congested area. So of course, it's gonna be more obvious. And see, a lot of this stuff is coming out now that people thought that only black people was doing, and they found out it wasn't us. And also, these people of color, many of them are included in black crime stats, and those stats are for arrests, not actual charges and convictions. So if they just do a sweep and take 30 people to jail and let them out in the morning, that goes down in crime stats and the black crime stats. So many people say you talk like as though you're happy to see the immigrants leave here. Make me no different in one way or the other. My name is Wes. I'm not in that mess. We've been in other folks' mess for too long. Time for us to come out of it. And when these MAGA people want to start joining our ranks, don't let them join anything. Start choose something else. Because I listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's trying to still blame the Democrats, put them in that mess. The Democrats not a perfect party. People say, oh, there's no difference between the parties. One trying to stop your SNAP benefits. One trying to keep it. One trying to take away the health care. One trying to keep it. Do you think if you had voted for Kamala, a Democrat, we'd be going through this right now? That we're going through with MAGA and Trump? So to say that there's no difference is a lie. You're either lying or you're delusional. Because Republicans, we didn't get the civil rights bill on the Republicans. See, black people align more with Democrats because we've at least gotten some things to make our lives better out of them, from them, but not out of the Republicans. Before the civil rights bill was passed, do you know that Martin Luther King and all of them, they were under Jim Crow when it was out. That's why they were talking about freedom. Martin Luther King didn't go so much after integration, after integration as people think he did. He talked about freedom. Black people wasn't free then. They were still under Jim Crow, which was a semi-form of slavery. Slavery really didn't end for black people until 1964. I'm talking about completely, at least that's what we can call freedom, still stuff, systematic slavery. But, it didn't lighten up on us some until 1964. So people walking around here in their 60s wasn't born with the full rights of a citizen. So that shows you that it wasn't that long ago. And you say, well, I wouldn't, I didn't own slaves, but you benefit from the system. It ain't about you singing. You heard some people say that it's not about no individual. It's about the whole system. When people, I'm gonna tell you, when there's a system or a subject, and you see people trying to individualize and start talking about themselves, they're trying to deflect. They're trying to deflect because see when you see, we're not gonna get no reparations. I don't think so. But if we did, we wouldn't want them to go singling through us. Well, you just send us slavery. But see, they wouldn't want to do that. But look, but when it comes to them, they want you to say, "Well, I didn't own slaves." You didn't have to. You benefiting from the system. So we don't want them to start talking about when it comes time for reparation, trying to distinguish among us. You weren't distinguishing among us out in that cotton field. Our ancestors are the ones who farmed you took and made them sharecroppers on their own land. And see, you benefit from a system. Remember New York when they took those black people land away and they finally got it back about a couple years ago? And everybody's so happy, oh, they got their land back. But what about the generational wealth that they lost? Land was worth a few $1,000,000. But did they make them white folks get that wealth back? So you made this wealth off stolen land. How you gonna let them keep wealth that they made off of stolen land? That should have been them black folks' money too. But see, when it comes to us, we get partial justice. We don't get the whole thing. That's why I say, aligning yourself with MAGA people, don't do that. Don't do it because they got a bunch of tricks up their sleeve. And as soon as things get better for them, they coming right back at you again. And Marjorie Taylor Greene said she's resigning from Congress. Well, she's resigning. She's going to leave January the 5th. You see, that's when, after January the 5th, that's when she can get her pension. She'll be getting 150 some $1,000 a year for life and keep her congressional health insurance. So that January 5th day is not by accident, it's by design. But I don't blame her. I would do the same thing. I'll wait till the 5th so I can get my benefits. It's like a person on any other job. If I quit now, I won't get my pension and benefits. So if I wait 6 months from now, I get my pension and benefits. I worked at another 6 months to get it. So I don't really blame her for that. I'm just showing you how strategic she is, and she should be strategic. Our problem is we don't be strategic enough. We want to talk about unity all the time. You don't know. Most of your people are not going to unite. You just have to have enough people in place to strategize for you and carry it through. The majority of black people wasn't in the civil rights movement. The majority of people never get anything done. It's a group of people who gets it done. The majority of white folks don't get stuff done. Now they're seeing that system work against them. They're suffering through some of the stuff we had always suffered through. Hold on a second. I need to take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, see, one of the reasons that I really don't care about what's really going on with many others is because they knew, they knew all of this time that we were suffering, but they didn't care. Why do you think they say stuff like black people gonna work the farm? They don't have jobs. We had jobs. No, nobody didn't know that they saw us working every day. They knew that the system was set up for us not to have good jobs. We're supposed to have lower level jobs. The system was set up for that, but we defied the system. Black people haven't done farm work in I don't know how long. That's why they had to get them people from south of the border to do it. And the thing about it is that it's an insult to black people. Like you're saying, if they don't do it, we're supposed to like we're next on the low class pole. Get some white folks out there to do it. Why come no one saying where the whites at? They get them out there to do the job. But see, they always made a fool out of white folks. You had white people back in slavery time who was suffering, didn't have jobs. But because of their white racism, they didn't mind them bringing a bunch of other people in here to take their job. Go all the way to the other side of the world, bring people in on ships, have them work for free when you didn't have a job. See how stupid that is? But you didn't mind because your racism was stronger than your hunger. You have white people literally living in tents themselves, tents, caves, living in their families suffering. But they took it because they felt they was better than them in words out there in the field. When they should have been out there in the field making some money. But they didn't mind seeing the black folks out there working for free because they were black. So, I knew that one day racism was going to be the downfall of this nation. See, years ago, they used to have wars and nations invading people, people enslaved, but they didn't do it by race. They did it by nationality. You had different nationalities and ethnic groups fighting against each other, and they were multiracial, except in Europe. And the white race instituted doing things to people by race. See, up in Europe, they were warring and fighting against each other. Up in back even in the late 20th century, the Irish, they were seeing this in words of in England. See, we weren't around, they'd fight each other. So they got to have somebody to be against, somebody to fight. But if yeah, but they have to have somebody to oppress. I never seen anybody that diabolical before. Has to have someone to oppress. Because if something could happen to set the world back in order like it should be, those people down there, the Dutch, don't use that Dutch, so people in Australia, I forget where they come from. They need to be up out of there, and the Aborigines have their land back. And so I remember J.D. Vance saying that the black people in the United States, you have more black millionaires here than anywhere else in the world. We should be grateful that we're here. Yeah, you sound like an idiot. You may have more black billionaires. How many people are not billionaires in poverty? So what they got? So what is that? You know, the richest nation in the world. Why should people have to get food stamps in the richest nation in the world? And see, everyone don't measure their success and and a good life by how much money they got in the bank. That's your system, the way you think. Everyone don't have that thought process. There's a few black millionaires. So what? What they got to do with the ones who have to get the SNAP benefits and don't have a job? So that's why they make these ridiculous. JD Vance makes some of the most ridiculous statements I've ever seen. Well, I can well he's second only to Trump, but he really makes him. He thinks he's being prolific, and he sounds like a you know what fool. And now he's throwing his own Indian wife under the bus. See, when it comes to his whiteness or his wife, he chose his whiteness. And then see, I don't know what's wrong with her. He used to be a drag queen. We got a vice president who used to dress up like a woman. It's true. You see, he still put on eye makeup. All that eyeliner he have on. Isn't that something? We got a vice president wearing eye makeup and a president wearing orange makeup. That's a mess, isn't it? That's good. Man, this country is in a mess. Vice president and president wearing makeup. I'm not talking about the type of makeup like people put on Hollywood, on the set to enhance things. They've got on all some ridiculous makeup. So Vance, I guess Vance, he's not done with the drag queen thing. He's still wearing the make his eyeliner that he wore. But look, I think black people, I think right now, I think we've done well. But it's been a few black people getting out in this mess. But it's always gonna be some. But see, like I said before, they just didn't start. This just didn't start. Black people had stopped marching and protesting after Michael Brown in Ferguson. Because they was out there for 4 months, from summer to winter, and was not even got out there in the cold, and they didn't do same result. Because I knew it was gonna be, they was gonna let that policeman go because the only time people get convicted unaliving a black person, a white person getting convicted of it, there has to be a video. You see, each time there was a video. Remember Lamont Arbery, the jogger, that they just ran down and hunted down? Do you know the prosecutor let them go and didn't file charges, didn't even arrest them? Black man lying out there unalived, no weapon. They didn't even have enough sense to throw a weapon down, but they let them go. What happened was one of their friends, one of them, he gonna put out the video to prove they're innocent, and that's what proves their guilt. You thought running a man, chasing a man down, hunting him down, and shooting him when you didn't have a reason to, it wasn't harming anyone, and that video was gonna vindicate you? They all got life in prison. They should get the unaliving penalty, to be honest with you. That's what one of us would have gotten. During see the first video was Rodney King. That's what started the video thing. Oh, they were so shocked. We said, but we all know about that. We've been telling you that all the time. With Breonna Taylor, had there been a video, he would have got more than just one. To show you how they insulted her and her family, they gave him 1 day in prison. Like they just purposely trying to insult. But he got time had there been a video. Each time people of other color had to pay for another race person had to pay for doing something to a black person. There had to be a video with George Floyd, had there not been a video, that policeman would be still on his job right now. Because if you look at his police report what was on the video, his police report was all lies. And you know what the FBI had uncovered when we had a real FBI who operated, didn't operate by what the government says? They said that the majority of police reports be full of lies. Full of lies. And see, had there been a video, I think that policeman would be in prison right now, right? But they just put him on a witness protection and sent him away somewhere. Don't sit up there. Big Michael Brown was over 6 feet tall, like he weighed about 300 pounds. And somebody, he was punching him in his face while he was sitting in his car. And then like they just took him to the police station and slapped him a couple of times. No swelling. His face was a little red, but you know what? You know what happened? They slapped him on the wrong side of the face. And if I'm standing outside your car punching you, or anyone standing outside your car punching you, when your injuries be on the left side, if you sitting in the driver's seat, they slapped him on the right side. All his injuries on the right side. They even slapped him on the wrong side. They sure didn't punch him because like somebody just the policeman told me we got to show some injuries and slapped him around a little bit on the wrong side of the face. No video, no crime. Each time, and the reason I don't say white people because the other people get the same benefits. You notice one thing about these people, those Asians. You notice how they get the white privilege when they do something against us, or the Latinos. You know George Zimmerman, who unalived Trayvon Martin. He was Latino. He was treated like an honorary white when it came to him unaliving a 16-year-old boy who's just on his way home from the store. How you stand your ground in a fight that you started? You know, Trayvon Martin was standing his ground. You start the fight, but you the one standing your ground. Make it make sense. But had there been a video, George Zimmerman would be in prison right now. That's why people have to make these videos. I know I'm off from Marjorie Taylor Greene, but just so long I can talk about her. Because she's just part of MAGA and she's gonna always be out of that mindset. So these people, don't trust them. I don't even trust the black MAGA people. Because for you to go along with that stuff, something gotta be wrong with you. And I know it's mostly black MAGA people that I know. They're arrogant and sort of delusional. Yeah, delusional. And we have to now a lot of the black males that was in MAGA. I, you know what I think? A lot of them was tired of this feminism that's in the Democratic Party and talk down to men and build up women, and that's what's hurting the Democratic Party. Because when they said Kamala is not resonating with some black men still voted overwhelmingly for her. They made it seem like black men just was all voting for Trump. But you know what? When they said that, no one went and tried to talk to the black man or do something to see what's going on. They didn't talk to him, they talked about him, which they always do to black men. They figure, oh, we just messed up and we're just doing it. These old men doing it. When it comes to women, they try to see why. The reason. No one tried to find the reason with black men. Even Obama, when he was talking about that the black man need to vote for Kamala Harris, they browbeaters talk at us. They don't come talk to us. Well, what's the problem? It's all this feminism in the Democratic Party. That's the problem. They want to tell men what we better do. And there was no organization because women don't organize. Look at all the groups that women got. There's really no organization. When the black man was running the black community, he did have organization. Martin Luther King, they worked with organizations and groups. Black men started this black voting machine. Feminism is dismantling it. You know, so we have to but I think this feminism, black women have embraced it too much, more than the white woman has. It's made you masculine and made you unattractive for marriage. But getting back to my subject, I got to throw that in about because I'm going to tell you why I say these things. Like a lot of people get angry when I say stuff about black women. Black woman is almost becoming another enemy of black men that we got to look out for. You're like in a whole entirely different entity. You never say black people, you always say black women. But black men don't go and do anything without doing it for the black woman also. Any type of rights or anything, we do it for black people, not for black men. And we got out here and protested with white men trying to get some rights without you. You cried low down dirty dog. But you've gotten out here with white women protesting for things to try to get rights for women that didn't include black men. Black women in the 1920s got with white women trying to get the right voting rights. When black men didn't really have just a few. You were trying to get that so you'd be able to vote and the black man wouldn't. The black men ain't gotten out there. You wouldn't have seen black men going out there with white men for voting rights. I know white men had, but this is just to show you a point. And the black woman is not included. That's the reason I mention black women sometimes because you're becoming another enemy to us that we got to look out for. But we're not gonna make it divided like this. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to go out there and go get rights, and the black women don't get it. But you do that to us. Women, black women have always been more in the women's movement than they have in the black movement. And just look through history. I can prove with facts. Look through history. Black women has always joined white women in women issues. That wasn't, I mean, look at the civil rights protests and all the civil rights. That wasn't that many black women because you were more into women's rights than black rights. But see, people are not doing things against you because so much as a woman. They're doing it against you because you're black, because they're doing stuff to you that they weren't doing to other women. The other women getting it now. They still seeing how they mistreatment. That man, they dragging white women in the streets, beating them, throwing them in jail. One thing about ICE, they don't discriminate. But we was out there, they would. They're doing it to them because we're not out there. That's why I don't advocate for us going out there. You want to go, go. Whatever happens to you just happens. When you end up down there in alligator Alcatraz, getting bit in the butt by an alligator, you see what we was talking about then. They're gonna come after you. Before anyone else. You notice they haven't said anything about riots. But we had been out there to be called a riot. They want one so bad that you know what they'll do? There could be some people walking away peacefully, but then with a action item carry, they have a video crew with them. They'll throw some tear gas just in some people to make it the people start running away to make it look like it's some type of riot or something. Marjorie Taylor Greene was a part of this stuff, so don't let her fool you. She's just as bad as the rest of them. Don't fall for this pity stuff. I'm gonna tell you, black folk, we're on our own. We're on our own, and that includes when it comes to immigrants, people of color. We're not people of color, we're black. And these, I'm talking about immigrants of all races, Africans, Haitians, Cubans, all of them. They haven't been on our side, and I'm not on theirs. I'm not. I wish for you what you wish for mine. And you wasn't wishing well for mine, so I'm not wishing well for yours. I'm not saying that I want to see stuff happen to you. It's just that I don't care, one way or the other. I know that may sound harsh to a lot of you, and yeah, maybe call me crazy and everything else, but call me whatever you want to. I think it's crazy to keep letting people treat you, and you keep treating them well. Let them feel what you feel, or they're gonna keep mistreating you. That's human nature. So you want to be that kind, compassionate person. And you know what? A lot of that kind and compassionate stuff people talk about, it was to the brethren and the sisters, the people who are of a group. See, back in the, I know I am going to talk about the Bible right now. Back in the early church, they were like a commune. Many of those commandments for their brothers and sisters. A lot of people, I just sure about people saying about the church that they're obligated to. Why come to church not feeding people? This woman did a thing calling around to the churches for baby formula. Say only the black churches and the mosque helped her. Offered to help her because she was just doing a hoax. But because I said I don't think the church is obligated to do anything for anyone. They do it on their own, so because they want to, not because they're obligated to. The church was set up where the early church was like a commune, but the way church is now is to preach the gospel to those who are to the unbelievers, and also to the believers. And the church is made for the congregating of the saints. But people want to go around here, do whatever they want to do. You have some who go out and want to get drunk or high, then come to church and eat. See, they're supposed to take care of them. The church would do it if they want to, but they're not. I don't think they're obligated to myself. Some may disagree with me, but I just don't see where the church is obligated to take care of the community. The community don't do anything for the church. Who does the community give to? The liquor store, the weed man, the dope man, the Arab stores. Those same people the church feeds. You think they ever come by and give a donation to the church? See, you know what the problem is? People got a lot of churches mixed up with these MAGA churches they see online. Like the church that's got money coming out the chimney. Most churches don't. Many people have a false illusion of church. Like I say, a lot of people criticize me for that show, but I still church say I don't think the church is obligated to fee to do anything for anyone. They do it because they want to. But cause see, before the civil rights movement, the church didn't do all that because many of them wouldn't even let Martin Luther King and his in their pulpit. They wouldn't let him in their pulpit. They said they didn't want to bring the world into the church. It was after that, and then the civil rights movement, the churches start feeding people and doing things for people, and now people feel that the church is obligated to do it. But I'm not one of those people. I don't think they're. It's good that they're doing it, but because they want to, not out of obligation. Have you ever done something for a person before? You helped them so much until they felt that you was obligated to help them, and the very first time you said no, they fell out with you for good. Because all the times you helped them, that's the way the people do the church. Not, they've done it so long, now you think they're obligated to do it. So well, I'm not going to hold you long, but I'm just thank you for staying with me. Let me show you again New Shining Lights on Thanksgiving. If you don't have any what to eat, go by New Shining Light at 9:30 for the Thanksgiving Day service. Then following will be the 29th free Thanksgiving dinner. They're gonna also give away caps and gloves. Go by New Shining Light. That's on Thursday at 9:30. No, oh 9 a.m. I'm sorry, 9 a.m. Then at 10:30 a.m. they're gonna have to 12:30. They're gonna have the dinner. That's at 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois. You don't have to be from Venice. You can come from all over. And don't forget the toy giveaway. You have some toys. Think about New Shining Light for the toy giveaway. Also, they're gonna have the revival, fall revival. Look at that. Two powerful preachers, JD Man on Wednesday night. No, this is gonna be December 3rd, not this coming Wednesday. December 3rd through 5th. On Wednesdays, as you can see, Pastor JD Man. Thursday is gonna be Pastor Vincent Collins, and Friday, Pastor Leanne. I can't see that smile, my God. Pastor Leandrew Brown. I put my glasses on. I see so weird with all my glasses now. Sometimes I forget to put them on. Forget to put them on. Plus, I get a glare back from these lights with my glasses on. Stop by our New Shining Light. That'll be December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It'll be 7 p.m. nightly. That's at 740 Broadway in Venice, Illinois. The pastor is Bishop John H. Williams. So stop by there. I'm sure you want to come back. You can watch New Shining Light here on both these channels. You watch their services here. And when you see their service, like it and share it. That way, it get the algorithm to come and YouTube and Facebook will distribute it more. 'Cause I don't think they're getting the views that they should get when you look at the type of service they have. Their service should be going viral, but people are not liking and sharing it. The members are not even liking it and sharing it. But that's how you get out there by when it comes to Facebook or any type of social media, things go viral by people liking it and sharing it. Because that makes the platform distribute it more. If you don't like it and share it, you're not gonna get the viewership that you should get. But I'm grateful that you tuned in tonight. But I just want to say that about Marjorie Taylor Greene that we can't trust her. She's gonna be trouble For our people we trust, because he gonna fall back into old ways. Most of the MAGA people will. But thank you for tuning in. I didn't know it had gotten this late past midnight. Um, I'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in for no more water. Bye next time. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and good night.